So hello everyone. In this video, I am sharing my experience with traveling from the Philippines to the United States. And I know that it's so stressful right now to travel with the COVID and with different rules, especially now that the US Center for Disease Control, I don't know, the US CDC has implemented a new rule last November 8th, wherein you also have to provide a proof of vaccination. So I know it's going to be stressful, so I hope that this video will help you with your travel. So if you guys are interested, don't forget to like and subscribe and continue watching. For this video, I'm gonna divide it into three. First, I'm gonna tell you the details, my flight details, my airlines and all that. And then second, I will share with you my experience. And then third, I'm gonna tell you the documents that you need to provide. So first is my flight details. So I took Philippine Airlines. There are a lot of flights already going from Manila to the US. I took Philippine Airlines, and for I'm not sure about other airlines, but for PAL, you will either enter the US via New York or Los Angeles. My point of entry is Los Angeles, and then I have a connecting flight to Las Vegas. So I took PAL because one, it was cheaper, and then two, it was a single ticket from Manila to Las Vegas. It was a single ticket. It was just under one booking. So for example, if there's a delay in my Manila to Los Angeles flight, then I can also just rebook my Los Angeles to Las Vegas flight rather than book it in a different airline where I won't have any guarantee just in case there are like changes in my booking or in my flight details. So I just decided to take PAL. It's way easier, and also because with PAL, the documents can be in English. For example, if I took Japan or ANA Airlines or Korean Airlines, I would have to translate my documents, especially the negative PCR test, into Korean or Japanese. So for me, it was just easier to go with PAL. So I took PAL. So now I'm gonna narrate what happened in the airport. I was planning on doing a vlog all throughout the process so that you would know how it looks like, but it just so happened so fast because I arrived in the airport around just 3 hours before my flight. So that should have been enough before the pandemic, but since it's the pandemic, there's a lot more checkpoints and all that. So I barely made it. So I didn't have enough time to do a detailed vlogs. But I'm just gonna insert some photos and videos for the steps that I was able to video. My flight, since it's PAL, I went to Terminal 2 because Terminal 2 is exclusively for PAL passengers. And since it's exclusive to PAL passengers, the passenger count is smaller compared to if I went to NAIA Terminal 1, because NAIA Terminal 1, all of the other airlines are there. So at least with Terminal 2, it's more focused. So it's more efficient. It's faster. Okay, so upon entering the international departure gate in Terminal 2, you will immediately, of course, security check for the baggage. And then you immediately fall in line. There are 3 lines: business class, online check-in for those who already checked in within 24 hours before the flight, and then the third one is for the ones that haven't checked in yet. So I definitely recommend that you check in online so that the line will be shorter. So upon falling in line, there will be one PAL representative that will check all of your documents. For me, she just checked my passport, my visa, my negative PCR test, and my ticket. That's it. That was all she checked. And then once my documents were checked, I went to the another bag check, wherein this is for the TSA check of this is only for travelers for check-in baggage going to the United States, because this is required for the US TSA checking, where they have to open all of your check-in bag to check if there are like drug substances. So even if your check-in is a box where it's already taped, they will open everything. So just make sure that you allot more time than usual in going to the airport, because I got lucky. The check-in line was a bit faster than usual, but definitely go in the airport 5 to 4 hours before your flight. So yeah, once they check the bag for the drug substances, and that's the time that you can check in your bag. So in this step, they will check your ticket, and then if you already paid your travel tax. I already paid my travel tax together with my PAL ticket, so that I won't be hassled anymore in paying cash in the airport, and also it's safer because I don't have to deal with more people. So yeah, they will check your PAL ticket, especially make sure that you have your return ticket. They will also check your travel tax if you already paid for it, your negative PCR test, your visa, your passport. They will also check your US Attestation Form. You won't submit it there, but they will advise you to do it now because it will be needed in the immigration. And then also make sure that you have your health insurance with COVID coverage. And then they also check my negative PCR test. So those are all of the ones that they check in the check-in counter. So there, I checked in my bags. PAL allows 50 pounds per bag, 2 check-in bags. So once I got through, I went to the immigration. Okay, so in the immigration, I showed my passport, valid passport, of course, my visa, and then the departure card, this card. And then they also took my US attestation form. And then they also check if I have my health insurance with COVID coverage. So those are all the documents that I presented to the immigration. But they also asked me where I was working, if it's a private or a public company. It's a private company, so it's okay, because I know that if you're working in a public office, if you're working in government, you have to show another set of documents like permissions or something like that. But I don't know, I'm working in a private company, so I just told them that I'm working in a private company. And then they asked me what my work is, and then they asked me what will I do in the US, who will I visit, and then they also asked me my address in the US. And then yeah, that's it. That's all they asked. But I also noticed that the immigration officer was checking my travel history, and I'm just fortunate that I have like a good travel history. I travel sometimes when I have the opportunity. So with my previous travel history, I think it was good. It was good. It showed proof that I keep on returning on time. So yeah, immigration was easy. Okay, and then after immigration, another immigration check, but this time it's just for your check-in, for your handbags, for your hand carry, because you already check in your check-in bags. So again, scan of your hand carry, and then after that, go to your gate. And then before you can sit in the sitting area of your boarding gate, you have to go a last set of bag check. So this time, it's where they will check all of your bags. You will have to remove your shoes, and then all liquids more than 100 ml, remove them from your bag because they'll be confiscated anyway. So if you have water, drink them before. So after you go through that last bag check, you're good to go. You just have to wait for your flight, for your boarding and all that. And then after I arrived in Los Angeles, that's my port of entry, I would have to go to the US Border Control, Customs and Border Control, where they will stamp your passport because that's your point of entry in the United States. So in this stage, I showed my passport and my visa, of course. And then in this, they didn't ask for any documents. I just showed my passport, my US and my US visa. And then I had my face scanned. I had my fingertips scanned. And then they also asked me, where will I go in the United States, my address in the United States, what I am doing here, what will I be doing here. They also asked me because I was visiting my sister, so they asked me what she was doing, what she does here in the US. And then they also asked me until when am I staying in the US. So that's it. That's all they asked me. And then after that, I went to get my baggage, because even though I booked my ticket under one PAL ticket, I still had to transfer airplanes. So normally, if there's a connecting flight, if there's a transfer flight, it's the airlines that will take care of your baggage. You just have to physically move to another airplane. But because it's the pandemic, now you have to personally claim all your checked-in baggage. So that's what I did. I took my checked-in baggage and then went into the check-in connecting flight area. If you have something to declare, for example, if in your check-in baggage you have like flight food, airplane food, or if you have meat products, you need to go to the US Customs. But if you have nothing to declare, if you don't have any of those, if you don't have any meat stuff or food, meat processed food in your bag, you can skip the US Customs scanning and just go directly to the connecting flight or transfer flight corridor, and then you can drop your check-in luggage there according to the airline, and then they'll be the one to transfer your luggage to the correct airplane. By the way, there's no more payment because this is already paid for under one PAL ticket. It's just that I had to physically transfer my check-in baggage from that Philippine airplane to another airplane that will bring me to Las Vegas. So that's what I did. After I dropped my bag, I went to the domestic terminal of Los Angeles, Terminal 4, and then from there, I went to another TSA check. They'll scan my transfer pass or my boarding pass, and then I'd go to my gate, and then went to my gate, waited for my flight, and then from Los Angeles went to Las Vegas, and then Las Vegas took my bag, and I'm here in Las Vegas. So that was my experience. The flight, I didn't wear anything except face mask, no more face shield. So last part is the documents that I prepared as well as the documents that I showed. So first, these are the documents that you can prepare way in advance before your flight. So of course, you need to have your passport. You have to have your passport and then your US visa. They're in a different passport for me, but yeah, I have to. You have to have those two, of course. And then your your ticket. It doesn't necessarily have to be PAL, but you have to have your ticket, and you have to have a return flight details. And then you also have to have your US attestation form. You can download this online. So this is what it looks like, US attestation form. Have it signed. And then you also have to have the Bureau of Immigration form. The US attestation form and the Bureau of Immigration can be provided in the airport, but it's easier and it's way faster if you can just download it beforehand and fill it up beforehand so that it's easier. It's hassle-free. Then, of course, your health insurance. This is not a requirement by the US. This is a requirement by the Philippine government, by the IATF. So just make sure that your health insurance covers your whole stay in the United States and that it has COVID-19 coverage. For me, I'm staying 78 days here, and my insurance was 5,300. So it's expensive, but it's a requirement. And then you have to show a negative PCR test. Since I took a PAL flight, I just decided to take us as well their negative PCR test because they have partner laboratories. So I just decided to take my test there so that they will know what is needed, what information is needed. And then lastly, you have to have your vaccination certificate. And I have my vaccination card, my QC Protect Todo vaccination card, but to be sure, I also got mine in the Vaccert PH just to make it a bit more official. But if you cannot find your details in Vaccert PH, it's okay. The vaccination card is enough proof in the US. And to be fair, they didn't even check if I was vaccinated upon entering the US. Yeah, it was only in NAIA that they check if I was vaccinated or not. In the US, no, they didn't even check it. So that's it. So those are the documents that I was able to prepare beforehand. And then just to be sure, because I will be working from home, I will be working here in the US online since I'm working from home anyway. And just in case they ask me, I also prepared a certificate of employment, but they didn't even check it because again, my travel history was enough proof for the immigration officer. So on the day of the departure, you can download the Traze app. It's required by NAIA, but they didn't even check it. But just download it for the sake of it, just so that if you get unlucky and they decide to check if you have the Traze app, then you already have the Traze app rather than downloading it on the spot. So just for a peace of mind, for more hassle-free travel, just download it beforehand. And then if you're taking a PAL flight, you need to either have the Philippine Airlines declaration form, or you have to have the QR code. The QR code is only for the people that took the PCR test or the antigen test in the PAL partner laboratories. If you didn't get your COVID test in PAL partner laboratories, then you will sign up the Philippine Health Declaration form. But if you use the PAL partner laboratories, you can have the QR code. For the Philippine Health Declaration form, you can only fill it up 24 hours before your flight. But for the QR code, you can have it 5 days before your flight. And then what else? Since I was entering via Los Angeles, I needed to fill up a form in the LAX Gov. I'm just gonna link it in the description or put it in the screen. You need to fill it up because it's a requirement for LAX. They didn't check it, but just fill it up. So yeah, I think that's it. That's all I prepared. It was a bit easy actually, and the PAL flight was fast, And yeah, I had more hassle, of course, as usual, in NAIA rather than in the US. They ask for more information or documents in NAIA than in the US. But overall, it was an okay process. I thought it was a bit more hassle, but apart from the check-in luggage, I have no other problems. So that's it, guys. If you have any other questions, let me know in the comment rather. I might have forgotten some, but it's not my first time traveling in the US, but it's my first time traveling during COVID, so I thought it was a bit more hassle, but it was okay. But I think that's because I also prepared well in advance. So yeah, it's okay. Again, just to conclude, prepare your documents. If you can prepare your documents ahead of time, like the ones that you can download online, download them and sign them so that you don't have to sign them in the airport when everyone's falling in line or everyone's like rushing about. So just try to finish all of the documents that you can beforehand, and then if you need any extra documents like supporting documents, prepare those. Yeah, that's it. I think that's it. I think I've covered everything. If you have any more questions, let me know below. Let me know in the comments. I think I've covered most of everything. Yeah. And also in the airport, normally you have to fill in some like US arrival documents, but now it's all online, it's all electronic, so no need to do that. No need to fill up anything in the airplane before landing in the US. So yeah, that's it. I think I've covered everything. Again, if you have any questions or clarifications, let me know in the comments, and I will answer them as much as I can. But that's it. Thank you guys so much for listening, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye guys.